Hello, Hockey Blast fans. I thought I'd just do a quick video on how to play Hockey Blast. I know when I first bought the game, I kind of struggled with it initially, and I had a friend tell me that he kind of struggled learning the game, so I thought I'd just make a video on how to play. First of all, when you set up your teams, just a little tip for me, I like to have a defensive square on each line. So in a roll of a 10, a turnover comes over. You know your D-man's going to pick up the puck. And I set up my lines. I kind of like to have 3 triangles on a line, but that's personal choice. If I am playing the home team, what I do like is to have the best face-off guy go against the other team's face-off guy, especially if he's a better face-off player. You win the draw and you keep the puck away from the best players. So to play the game, basically what you do is you roll the dice. You'll get a face-off. So if you were to roll a 4, that would go to the high face-off player. What you do is take a look at the face-off rating. 56 here, 51 there. So the puck would go to Toronto because they had the higher face-off rating. Then you roll from the normal minutes chart. So if my roll is a 2, there would be a fight. What you do for a fight is you take a look at the fight ratings for the people that are on. Now, I play this method. I don't play the stacks method. I just find it a little bit quicker. It does take a bit of getting used to. For fight, there's nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. And we have a 5, 2. So what you would do if you roll the dice, let's just put Giordano on this first line. He would have a 2 and Tkachuk would have a 5. So in order for them to be a fight, you'd have to roll. The black dice would have to be 5 or less for the home team. The white dice would have to be 2 or less. So if I was to roll, I have a 5. So Tkachuk is ready and willing to have a fight. Giordano was not. It would have been 2 or a 1. He's a 4. So there's no fight, and you would continue. Now, what I do when I play is I take a look at who was willing to fight and who was not. If they were willing to fight, the other guy didn't want to drop his gloves, I would give that team momentum. Now, that's just a variant that I use. You can use whatever you want. I know Keith at one point suggested going to the fight table and rolling on the fight table, and whoever got a punch in was the aggressor and they would get momentum, but you feel free to play it any way you want. So if there's no fight, you move the lines down and you roll. Say if the next roll is a 3, you would go to play triangle reading off the play chart. And for this, what you do is count how many triangles a team has. Whoever has the most gets a shot on net. So Toronto has 1, 2, 3. And Ottawa only has 1 with Batherson. So it'd be Toronto shot on net. And you would roll, first of all, from the play chart to see who's going to be shooting. So if it is a 6 reads 3, 2, 1. So a 3 starts to play, 2 makes a pass, and a 1, the last number is your shooter. And I use a yellow, white, and black just in case there's a rebound. So if the rebound came to 04, I would shift him to here, him to here, and him to here. And the yellow dice tells me he was just the initial passer. So if it is a roll of 3, 2, 1, Nylander is going to shoot. He has 2 stars on his goal shot rating. Kerfoot has 1 star for assist. And Tavares has a white star and a colored in star. So the color in stars are a total of 4. The white star for Tavares, not sure if you can see it or not, is only when they have momentum. So right now they do not have momentum. Momentum is with Ottawa, so you wouldn't count it. So the roll is looking for 4 stars. And what I want to do is roll 4 or less on the black die. If it is 4 or less on the black die, you have a chance to score. And on Matt Murray, take a look at his goalie card, he has 3 stars. So any roll of 3, 2, or a 1 would be a save by Matt Murray. Anything higher would be a goal. So if I was to roll and take the shot, we have a 3, so that's within Nylander's range, and a 4 is not. So it's a 7. It would be a goal, except 7, when you go to the goal chart, is a spectacular save. So you have one last process. You take a look at the goalie's spectacular save rating. His is a 3. Now they have momentum, so he would be a 4. So I would roll on the spectacular save chart, and I basically just read it. And for an 8, it says 1 black star or better, he makes the save. So in this case, Nylander would have been robbed by a spectacular save. We would change the lines, and we would go to the play chart for the next particular play. So let's say we roll the 4, and when you roll a 4, on the normal minutes chart, it's an odd man rush. With an odd man rush, I always roll 3 dice when I play, so I don't have to make that extra dice roll. Odd man rush, you take a look at the extra dice roll. In this case, it's a 5. You check for D5 to see if he has a block. In this case, Hamonic does not have a block, so it would be a shot on net for Toronto. If this would have been a 4, I would have checked D4. He does have a block, and Holden would have taken the puck away. So that's how the blocks work. If the red die, extra die was a 1, you check offensive player number 1 and see if he has a triangle. In this case, Blackwell would not have a triangle, so it would have been a lost puck over to the other side. So that's just to play it out in real time. Roll the dice, and let's say it was a 5, it would be a shot on net. If it's a shot on net, I just go to the play chart again, and I would see who's going to take the shot. Next one is a penalty. Let's just move on. Let's say we got a shot on net, and we roll a 5. If you ever roll a 5, you are going to go to the penalty chart. For the penalty chart, it's a 2-step process. The first step is to roll 2 dice and see who gets the penalty. In this case, a 4 would be D3. So D3 in this particular case would be this player here, Adam Gaudette. He's on the defensive team, and he's number 3, the center. You check his penalty rating. He is .05. And you would check the player on another team, and if he had a higher penalty rating, they would get the penalty. In this case, it always adds up to 6. So if it's 3, it would be 3. If it's a 2 black, you go to 4 white. 1 black, go to 5 white. 4 on the black die, you go to 2 on the white die. So it always adds up to 6, so it's easy to remember. So Gaudette in this case is an 05. I check Spezza, he's an 05. Gaudette would get the penalty. If Spezza was a 1.0, he would get the penalty. And from there you go on to the power play. And I think I explained my power play variant, so I won't go into that in any more depth. Next, if you were to roll the dice, let's say penalty's over, move on to the next lines. Roll the dice, and you get this, a 6. A 6 is a zoom where you're going to be comparing 2 players. And the players are black 3, white 3. Whatever's on the dice is what you're going to compare. And the zoom rating for 6 is a star. So you see which of them has a star. You can see Norris is not a star, and Matthews is a star. Since Matthew has the puck, it'd be a shot on net for Toronto. You'd re-roll, go to the play chart, see who the 3 players were, and then you would take a shot on net. So if we were just to reenact that, it is a 6. A 6 is a 3-2-1. So you go 3, 2, 1. Marner gets the shot. He has 2 dark stars, 1 and 1. So the black stars are a 4. So to score on the next roll, you have to be 4 or less, and then you check the goalie. If Ottawa had the puck, and we rolled a 6, the 3 and the 3. He does not have the star. Matthews does have, so it would just be a loose puck, and you would change lines. Next roll is a 7, which is a lull. If it is a lull, all you do is check off 3 time sequences on the score sheet, and you have a face-off. So in this case, the game I played this morning, I rolled a 7 right off the bat, mark off 3 spaces, I have a face-off, and I just continue. If I was to roll for a face-off, I rolled a 6. Oh, and when you do roll a lull, if you do have momentum, the team that had momentum loses it. Off the face-off, I rolled a 6. The visitor wins the face-off. Let's just say Toronto has the puck. And if my next roll was an 8, and I also rolled a cider die, or the red die. For an 8, you're going to an ice blast. Now, it's kind of the same as a zoom, only instead of checking one player against one player, you're going to check the whole team or the whole line against the other line. In this case, the red die is a 5. 5 on the play chart would be smart. So I'm looking for players who are smart. So if Toronto had the puck, that's a no. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Ottawa has one player that is smart. So Toronto would get a shot on net. You go to the play chart, you roll your 3 dice, and you get to see who'd be taking the shot. So if we're to play it out, if I roll the 7, that says go to the secondary chart. I roll again, it's a 5. 5 would be 5, 2, 4. So 5, 2, 4. So the shot is going to Justin Holl from Sandine and Kerfoot. You can see the shot has a scissors, which means you take the stars and divide by 2. Sandine has 0, Kerfoot has 1. So this would be no chance for a goal because you always round down. Next one. If you were to roll a 9 on the dice would say momentum. So let's just pretend that we moved on to the next line after the shot. And next one is momentum. For momentum, we check and see how many hits somebody has. So Muzzin, that's the line that's out on D right now, is 1. And 2 for Toronto. They have 2 hits on the 5 people that are on the ice. Ottawa has 1. And they have 2. Now, if it is tied, it always goes to the home team. So if Toronto had the puck, we had a rating of momentum. Because it's tied, Ottawa gets the puck and they get momentum. And you don't change lines or advance on the timer. You just get possession of the puck. Next roll would be a 10. If you roll a 10, it would be a turnover. And if it's 2 5s, it's a breakaway. 6 and a 4, it's just going to be a turnover. So if we were to roll this, you take a look at Toronto, and actually I didn't set it up right. Oh, I know why. I had Giordano and O'Reilly. I like to have 1 square on each line just in case the 10 comes up. So if I was to roll a 5-5, Toronto does have a square. They would take the puck away, and since it's a 5-5, it's a breakaway. So I go to the play chart, roll 2 dice, see what they are, and find out who the shooter is. If it was a 6-4, they would just take the puck away and I'd continue with the next roll. So that is a turnover. So you can kind of see why it's kind of handy to have 1 square on each line. If Toronto was to take the puck away and we rolled an 11. An 11 is if defense has 2 square symbols, they create a turnover. So if this was a dice roll, take a look at Ottawa. They have 1 square, and that is all. So if they don't have 2, they do not take the puck away, and it's a shot on net for Toronto. So Toronto would go to the play chart to see who's taking the shot. The roll is a 12. 12 is a 2, 3, 4. Again, 2 is first, 3 is next, 4 takes a shot. So for Riley, he has nothing, scissors, and nothing. So his first shot would not go in the net. He's going to make a save. And if you do make a save, there's some different possibilities that can come up. So if I was to roll a 4, say a 2 and a 2, and a rebound came up, and I go to the save chart, it says off the post, scramble in front. If there's a block square on defense, he controls the puck. So if I was to take the shot, you'd see that Shabbat would get the rebound. And I would just continue from there with him getting the rebound. If it was a 6, the goalie kicks it wide, and loose puck goes to 0-1 for a shot. So the rebound is going to go to 0-1. And as I said, how I do it, I move the first player, the yellow here, the white here, and the black here, and 0-1 would get the rebound shot. So for the rebound shot, you count the stars, and you add 1 for each rebound. So he has 1 star. He gets 1 for the rebound shot, so he'd be shooting on 2 stars. So if I was just to play this out, there's the shot, 2 stars, so a chance for a goal. Number 5 on Murray would be a save, but, it'd be a possible goal, but I'd go to the spectacular save chart, and you would see that he has a chance to make a spectacular save. So I roll on the spectacular save chart. It's a 6. If he has 3 or more black stars, he makes a save. And in this case, Marty Murray would rob him, make a spectacular save, and we'd go on to a face-off and change lines. Finally, the last roll on the play chart is a spectacular save chance. So whoever has the puck, let's pretend Toronto has the puck. I simply roll off the spectacular save chart and I check the rating. So 5 would be 4 or better. The goalie makes an unbelievable stop. And in this case, he has 3 stars and 1 white star if they have momentum. In this case, they have momentum. It would be a save. And we have face off, change the lines, and we continue. If he did not have that, that would have been a goal. So that just goes through each of the different dice roll possibilities on normal minutes. Hopefully you found that a little bit useful or helpful. So when you play Hockey Blast, you can refer to that and figure out how to play the game. Usually it takes me about a half an hour to play a game. I do have quite a few of the things memorized on the charts, so it goes by quite quickly. You have the stacks method and this method. I just prefer this method mainly because when I do my power plays, I can pick the people that I want on the power play. So for an example, I wouldn't have Zaitsev. I'd have Batherson with these guys. And whenever a roll comes to a 5, I'd use Batherson. On the penalty kill for Toronto, I would use this, probably Brody and Justin Hall, because they have penalty killing stars. Probably use Camp and Tavares, mainly because his face-off is a 61. So that is how I would set up for a power play. And as I mentioned in my other video, I just marked down what line was on. So if it was line 1-1, then when the penalty's over, I would move my players to line 2-2 and just continue the game. I find that quick, fast, easy. I like it because I get to pick power play units. It adds a little bit of strategy because if you're early in the period, you have to decide whether you want to use a line skip for a power play or not. Anyway, those are just some basics for Hockey Blast. Hopefully you found this useful.